Welcome to my daily review. Today is Tuesday, June 10th, and you're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, which was up 124 points today, or 0.63%. Close at 19,714, so we're closing in on that 20,204, less than 500 points away now. And it just keeps grinding higher on the 5 EMA. I switched it over. I think I switched it to the 5. Yeah, it has been grinding that 5 there recently, the last few weeks. So a good day for the indexes. I can go to before I go to the SPY, just want to point out that it's 10.1% above the 50 here, this line here that's curling up, and it's just a tick above the 5, 3.5% above the 21, which is this line here, getting in a nice power trend. And like I said, I've been saying for a while now, I expect it to take out that 20,204, which is less than 500 points away. Could do it in a day. Let's hope we have a 500 point day. SPY today, I'll go to the S&P 500 index. I was talking about that 6,000 level. Thought it was going to be some resistance. Well, it went right through it today, now up 6,038. This S&P 500 index was up 33 points or 0.55%. So the indexes look very good. But I got to be honest with you today, it was like it was painting the tape essentially with these mega cap tech stocks, which drove most of the action in the Nasdaq and the SPY. And these are, the SPY's market cap weighted. So stocks like Apple, Microsoft, Microsoft didn't do anything today. Tesla up nearly 6%. This is the stuff that's going to drive the index is higher, and we saw a lot of the growth stocks sell off today. So they're selling the growth stocks to buy the mega cap tech stocks. Tesla now, you think, oh man, it had a big move here. It was down last week at 273, but in actuality, what was it here? Last week was at 348 before the, or 355 before the fallout with Trump and Musk. It sold off. So 355 last week, 326 this week. And this is why entry is so important. If you bought it here, great. If you bought it here, not so great. You're still underwater. So just kind of I don't know, just kind of a nothing stock. These things have been lagging all year. I'm going to do this again because I got to point this out. Yes. The indexes were, they painted the tape with these mega cap tech stocks today, no doubt about it. But if you look, throughout the year, these have not done well. Tesla and Apple are down more than 19%. Microsoft's done a little better, up 11%. I think NVDA up 7%, not bad. Google has not had a good year, down 5%. Meta, I think, is the best performer, up 19%. And Amazon, flat on the year. So these things have done really essentially nothing with the exception of Meta and Microsoft to an extent. And they got some love here. You can see this is what paints the tape though today. It's one day, it's not a trend. And we saw a lot of those leading growth stocks being sold, profit taking. And I'm looking to see if that's a trend. One day is not a trend, but if that continues, I might have to change some of my portfolio here at the end of the week if this continues. I'm not liking it. Okay, I showed you Apple, Tesla. Yeah, Google was up, Microsoft was flat. NVIDIA had a decent day today, up nearly 1%. And this is the stuff that does paint the tape because they're so large. Amazon was up slightly, trying to break out of that base, just barely pushing away. But today was definitely a day for the Mag 7 or the Lag 7. And they look pretty good. I guess I can throw Palantir in there with that group. It was up, 0.5%. I'm looking to break out of this little handle, which it can't seem to do, get above that 133.50 area. Having a lot of trouble there. But anyway, at least it was up on the day. So I mentioned that, okay, today was the day for the Mag 7 and the indexes are all up because of those. There's such large components of these indexes that they really drive the numbers. But I want to get to I put relative strength lists and stocks at the top of my page every morning. And those stocks have been changing a lot lately. We're seeing a lot of stocks fall out, new stocks coming in. And I'm going to start with Netflix because this is one of the first one out of the gate. And this one pulled back to its 21 today. Not the end of the world, but it's got to find support there. It cannot continue to just sell off below the 21. Definitely watching this one because this has got some growth, unlike, the lag 7. There's no growth there. Spotify, down to the 21 again, essentially 21 today was 666.73. It went down to 672. So essentially down to the 21 app 11. Another one of these, it came down to its 21, which is 375. It came down to 374.68. So this thing's got to bounce here. These have to bounce here. If they keep crashing through, then we definitely have to change. I'm going to change my thought process because if the index is going to go up with the Mag 7, then you're going to have to ride that. And if you don't want to ride, the Mag 7 stocks, you can always buy something like the TQQQs, just take advantage of that. Or, if you don't want to own them individually. That had a nice day today as well, up nearly 2%. That's exchange traded fund, three times the daily performance of the QQQ. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Anyway, I digress. I'm trying to show you these leading stocks that are pulling back now. This is Duolingo. This one sliced its 21. So this is, to me, you got to be careful here. When these growth stocks start sliding, they can go fast, and you can lose a lot of money in a hurry. Takes, a long time, took months and months and months, and they can sell off very quickly. So that's why I'm on alert right now here. This is Rubric. I expected this one to pull back. I mean, it went from 47 up to 103. I mean, and so it pulled back the last couple of days after the earnings report. Had a decent day Friday, held in there. Monday ran up to, let's take a look at this on like a 10-minute chart. Monday opened higher and sold off, huh? This is yesterday. This is the earnings day. After earnings, kind of flat day. That was kind of impressive. And then sold off Monday and Tuesday. There's your 2 days there. There's your Friday day, which is okay. 103 to 95. There's an $8 bar there, and then undercut, made a new low. Today made a new low, undercut the 21. And this is the stuff that, that concerns me for sure with the growth names. CoreWeave got downgraded today with a price target of like 36 bucks. But this one just had an inside day and pulled back to its 5. We'll see what it does tomorrow. Having an inside day is not the end of the world. Pulling back to the 5 is definitely not the end of the world. Just last week, I believe it was Thursday. Yeah, it was down 17%, undercut lows from the prior session. And today it didn't do that. So maybe tomorrow, I don't know. We'll take a look at that 144. And we'll see where it goes tomorrow. Very interested in CoreWeave because this is one of the leading growth names. DoorDash, another one, just profit taking still above the 21. Like I said, I'm just watching. You got to expect profit taking. This relieves the pressure. It's like going to the dentist and getting a root canal. It needs to be done, but it's painful and we don't like it, when it happens. And you got to be careful because, some things can go wrong and it can escalate into something worse. You might find an abscessed tooth in there or something. Uh, to go with the dentist analogy, yeah, it's painful, to have these growth stocks trending. And that's why, you can do one of two things. You can sell aggressively, when it makes a new high, sell. And if it keeps going higher, like if you sold here at 209 and it went up to 220, that really bothers you that you didn't sell the top, then you can hold on, and then you're going to suffer through some losses like this. Or if you just trim along the way, take some profits along the way, you don't get hurt as much when they pull back. Just whatever strategy works for you, or if you're holding DoorDash for years and years because you think it's going to go higher over time, which I do, then that's fine too. It's just you got to know your own strategy. Robinhood, this one needs to take a little bit of a breather. one of my friends was saying, "Oh, it's 80. What was it? 86% above the 200. Anything over 80, over 200 is time to pull back. Which it is time to pull back, but I wouldn't use that as a guide to sell my stock because a lot of stocks can just keep ripping higher and higher. Um, Robinhood Markets just needs a little bit of time here. It's still well above its 21, yeah, 10% above the 21, so not in danger there of slicing, those important moving averages. But App 11 and Robinhood, traders are disappointed that they were not included in the S&P 500 index, and it's just time for these two to take a little bit of a break here. I'm really watching for App and Netflix and a couple of these tomorrow, CoreWeave, to see what they do tomorrow because I think it's not an inflection point, but it's just if there's going to be rotation into the Mag 7 and they're going to sell these to buy those, I'm going to have to make a change and buy, like I say, the QQQs and trim some of this stuff up. This is Zscaler, which has been on a heater for sure. Just pulled back to its 5 EMA today there at 296.21. The 5 is 296.89. So yeah, undercut it a little bit, closed above it. Zscaler looks fine, but once again, these are the types of stocks that I'm watching for. The leadership in the groups. Palo Alto, once again, just flat today. No harm, no foul there. Not bad. Still set up in a base. CrowdStrike, kind of flat in the day. Not bad there either. Hims, boy. I don't know about this stock. It's being supported by the 21, obviously, right? If you look at this, there's definitely some buyers here coming in, but it's not going anywhere either. Every time it, pops up, it just gets sold. So there's a lot of sellers out there with Hims and hers, and so I just kind of be careful with that one because it has shown a tendency to sell off really fast. And yeah, I don't care for that type of action at all. In the same type of group, the medical group, Intuitive Surgical dumped on Monday. Tried to get some back today and actually made it above yesterday's high of 531.59. Today's high was 531.93. So maybe trying to fill that gap there to 555. But I think it was downgraded yesterday. Did not act well with the downgrade today. Just sitting there at the 200. So yeah, there's some stocks that are struggling here. Then in the fintech group, which has been on a real heater, SEZL. Uh, I've been looking to get into this one for a long time. So I was watching this one at the 21 to see if it would hold, and it certainly did. I think that was a good buy point. I don't know. It could slice right through there tomorrow and go down to the 50. There's a lawsuit there that they claim Shopify was, I don't know, doing something with their buy now, pay later. I can't stand stuff like that. But anyway, it was down 7% today, significant pullback. We'll see what happens tomorrow. A decent bounce though off its 21, which is at 106. It pulled down to 106.15. So almost, 15 within 15 cents. That's machine trading there. Where else we have here? Oh, Dave. Dave's not here. Another one of these leading, computer tech services stock. Pull back a little bit today. Not bad. Kind of flat on this session. Down to 213 was the low, so it closed, $11 above its low. And on the daily range, it was 78% of the daily range. So yeah, Dave, not bad. But the other leading group that I was paying attention to is the energy group, and this is GEV. Definitely pulled back to its 21 today. 457.21 was at 21 today. It pulled back to 458, so in the spirit, but making this little bull wedge pattern. The problem is this volume here. Big sellers out there selling our leading growth stocks to buy Mag 7 stocks is not a trend that I'm down with at all. VST, another one in this group, just pull back to the 21. Uh, you know, this is a something to watch, folks. CEG back to its 21 here today, 290, closed there at 291. We undercut it there at 287, but we're seeing this in the energy group here and pull back. The Talon looks pretty good here, consolidating in a base. Looks like about 5 days of handle action here, is 4, 5, 6 days of handle. So maybe get a good whoosh down and then pop a little bit. Before I move on, I got to get to the retail restaurant names. This is Dutch Bros. Cup with handle here the other day. It looked like it was gonna break out, kind of fake the bulls out there. And today, I don't know if this is a shakeout, which kind of, could have been a bear trap. All it did is come back to its 21 though, which today was 69.78. The low was 69.70. So, once again, this looks like machine trading. Just, programmed at, the 21. Tomorrow probably pop. We'll see. If not, though, if it slices, I don't want to be complacent. If this thing slices and wants to pull back to the 50, I mean, we really have to be watching these leading growth names. Brinker International, there was some news from McDonald's yesterday. I forget what it was, chicken strips or something. I guess maybe some of the lower socioeconomic folks are not eating at the McDonald's as much. Middle class is starting to stall, and the GLP-1 drugs is what they blame it on. Folks aren't eating as much because they're on the Wegovy, Ozempic, Mounjaro. Anyway, the retail restaurant names uh, Brinker a little better than Bros. It's 3.7% above the 21, and Bros pulled back to it. So, watching those two in that space. Now, the defense names, which has just been spectacular. Look at this move by GE in the last couple of days. It pulls back to the five, real innocent move, right? Well, maybe not so much. A 4% drop today. I don't like this action, folks. Like I said, it's like going to the dentist and having a root canal, man. This is painful. I don't want to see this stuff at all. But this is part of the game, okay? So there's going to be rotation, and for the indexes to have a sustained bull market, there's going to be rotation, and those growth stocks are going to be sold to, relieve some of the pressure, so they can go higher, later on. Maybe not tomorrow or this week, but maybe next week or next month, who knows? But how long this might take. These things all might form bases. This might be a flat base. It could be just a trip to the 21 and a bounce higher. You don't know. So that's what I'm watching for. Howmet down 2.5% today. DRS, another one of these names uh, in the defense sector, pulling back a little bit. KTOS, this is one that's been on our relative strength list, and this one pulled back today and closed 1% below its 5 EMA, 4.8% above the 21. So still looking okay, but this is how they start, right? I'm just saying, I'm just got my spidey senses up. I don't want to lose money. I'm not going to hang around and lose money hoping that these things pull back. If they want to sell off, I'll sell them and go someplace else. All right. So that was enough of the selling, enough of the negative. It's not really negative. It's really a positive, because they can't go up every day. And you've seen pullbacks, just taking KTOS, it pulled back before the move higher, that pull back here and a pull back here, and now it's pulling back again. So, that's what they should do, right? They're not going to go up every day. But I showed you a lot of stocks there that haven't done this for a while. Like Netflix hasn't been back to its 21 and a long since the breakout. Okay, so this is a long time. So this is why I'm saying this is very peculiar. April 17th was the last time this thing was back to its 21, right? What's the yeah, it's already nearly 5% above there on the 21st. So first time it pulled back to the 21, these have to bounce. These ones that I showed you, for me, I'm not going to hang around if they're going to slice their 21. These leading names, CoreWeave's got a little more, I'll give it a little more leash. But yeah, just App 11, just a lot of these pulling back to the 21. So anyway, just pointing that out, folks. Be on alert. All right. I've got to get to, I can't be all negative. I got to go to some positive stuff here. So, one name that I had on the ready list this week, IBM, they came out with news about quantum computing. These are the real, quantum computing. They had Watson like 25 years ago, right? Playing on Jeopardy. And yeah, so, these guys have been doing quantum computing for a long, long time. They had news last night or this morning. I forget what it was, but bounced higher today. made a new high, breaking away from that base, just kind of pushing away. It's not a high beta stock or anything. If you look at the weekly, it'll give you the beta, yeah, 0.69. So, one would be average. So it's below average for beta, but you can see this flat base pattern here, and now it's pulling away. And yeah, I mean, you gotta love it, making new highs here. If you're a long time IBM fan, which I am, it was up to 277. So, congrats to the longs there at IBM. CASY, they were up on earnings. I believe they reported last night. Nice move here, up 12%. Ooh, cool blue. That should be IBM's chart. Anyway, gapped higher, 12% move. That's a move not to be ignored. Close in the lower half of the daily range there at 32%. But still, that's a nice $51 move for Casey. On earnings, INSM, this is a biotech drug stock breaking out a move not to be ignored as well. This one closed at the higher upper half of its quadrant today, or upper quarter of its quadrant, 84% of its daily range. So a nice move. They had a positive phase three trial, I believe, and it really hit some of the other names like UTHR. Yeah, it was down 14% on that news. So, outhouse and penthouse in the drug world, right? A couple other names that did well. I got to mention Nathan's. I posted this on Twitter. The 4th of July eating contest at Nathan's famous hot dogs is coming up on July 4th. And this thing's just been this is classic though, right? This is classic. If you look at this, and it's only the average volume is 24,000 a day, but this is textbook. You got your cup here, you got your handle, pulls back to the 21. Now it's popping. I mean, that's textbook action right there for Nathan's famous dogs. There you can see on the weekly, just beautiful action here, up already 6.5% this week. Go to the daily. Yeah, this is nice action here for Nathan. A hot dog stand. 63% of the daily range. The volume was up 99,000 today volume. So yeah, like three times the average volume there, 304%. Anyway, I'm just kind of teasing there. Nathan's, congrats to the longs there. OUST, I saw a lot of people tweeting about this one, and rightfully so. It's breaking out to new highs. This one's got, a little more volume. It's one of these small caps, less than a billion, 862 million, but breaking out of this base. Very nice, nearly 10% move this week. So Ouster is looking good. Just got to point out some of the positives and not be too don't be a negative Nelly. ZLAB, just consolidating in a base here. This is a medical biotech based in China. I don't really know if there was news today. I wasn't following it. But you can see it's at the top of its consolidation there, and a little bit, it looks like a little bit above a buy point there at 40.16, the buy point 39.77. So ZLAB looks good. And let me see, PSIX, this is one that I had on my watch list, not my ready list. I didn't put it on, and it's having a good week. This is another one that's, small caps. So small caps are also having, some of the small caps are doing okay as well. Anyway, our leading growth stocks I wouldn't call it an inflection point, but they're selling off. They need to be watched. Make sure the damage isn't too great. And anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up, except for in honor of the great Steve Jobs. I have one more thing, and that's tonight's earnings reports. We had GameStop reporting, and it's selling off to the tune of 5%. Okay. It was a little more earlier, but yeah, 5% is 5%. I didn't even look at the report. I'm not interested in stuff like that. GTLB, GitLab, whoo, down 12%. Saw some people saying they're buying it here at 42. That's not me at all. I don't want to catch a falling knife. It's below all of its moving averages, so just avoid GitLab. Don't try to play a hero. Uh, Play Dave and Buster's. Looks like it's going to trade above its 200 tomorrow, and you can see the 5 and the 21, is traded above the 50, and ever since it's been kind of doing well. And then what else do we have? Oh, tomorrow morning, CHWY reports. Looking forward to hearing from CHWY. Now, Victoria's Secret is supposed to report also. They had delayed the report from last week. They put it off till tomorrow. That's a mutual fund. Victoria's Secret, so we'll see what they have to say tomorrow. And then tomorrow afternoon, the big one, Oracle reports. And that could be market moving, and then Adobe the following day, but also tomorrow. Um, Afternoon, not XOM, but OXM, Oxford. This is the Tommy Bahama. This thing looks like it's been in a torture chamber. Oh man, House of Horrors here. Yeah, from 117 to 54. That's not too good. 50% off its 52-week high. So we'll see what they have to say tomorrow. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Really super important. Tomorrow, I think tomorrow is really important to watch these leading growth stocks. I'm talking growth now, not the lag seven, the leading growth stocks, which have been selling off here. We really need to watch these tomorrow, and I'm keying in on a few of them specifically. Robinhood Markets, App 11, Spotify is another one. Yeah, Netflix, Robinhood, Dutch Bros, DoorDash, Zscaler, and of course, CoreWeave. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Anyway, tomorrow's another day. If, like I say, if your stocks, you didn't get any love today, just, be patient, but be vigilant because in a rotation game like this, it'll come around to you. It's not gonna, I don't think it's just gonna just completely collapse. The index looks pretty darn good. And if they just want to buy the lag seven, I'm just going to buy TQQQ, maybe some calls here and just ride that. If that's what they want to do, sell some of my growth stocks and just kind of hang out here. That's just, you got to be nimble, you got to be quick. And if you're a trader, if you're holding long term, Netflix and Spotify and DoorDash, I mean, they look fine to me. But if you're trading, yeah, I don't want to take too much pain. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up.